You guys are kind of the special forces and Marines of stopping sexual violence. To come out on a day like this when the weather's kind of nasty, it's a tribute to April and the Shield of God that you guys are here. What a wonderful crowd. It's just an honor, April, to have been asked to come out here and speak. I have many of my colleagues from our Victim Services Bureau. Thank you guys for being here. Chief Dorsey, thank you to you and your colleagues and all of the other nonprofit partners that we work with. A couple years ago, and I will say that my own staff didn't recognize me because we used to see me in a suit all the time. So I figured this is probably not the place to wear a suit. I wanted to feel at home. And I thought about that, and you know, April and I have known each other for a long time, and she's always made me feel at home. All the times we spent together, how hospitable you've been to me over the last couple of years. You make me feel at home. So coming here relax, it's like sitting in your living room, and I really appreciate you and your mom. What I want to say is that a couple years ago, April called and she goes, "Hey Jason," she goes, "I want to start a nonprofit to bring awareness to stopping sexual violence. And I said, "You know what you're getting yourself into, girl?" I said, that's a big lift. And she says, "Absolutely." And she was motivated by all the right things. And I told her, I said, "I will help you in any way that we can." And what I was amazed by was the speed in which April was able to put Shield of God together. In fact, we were supposed to have last year a similar type of event, and it got canceled. But it wasn't because you weren't ready. You had already gotten started. And so the work you've done over the last 2.5, 3 years has just been remarkable. And not only does April actually form these events and does these events, she appears at other community events where you support everybody. And so I want to talk to you about, just briefly, is your role here. If it's your first time coming out and getting acquainted with Shield of God, then again, thank you. If you've been here before, and I know there's some familiar faces here, thank you for always serving, particularly alongside April with Shield of God. But I want you to know a couple of things. I've been a prosecutor now for over 23 years. For the bulk of the time when I tried cases, it was nothing but sexual assault cases against kids. And so when you look at the material that April's provided, the statistics that she'll talk to you about and become aware of, you realize, unfortunately, how frequent those types of cases are. And we deal with those all the time. And so even though I go to court, my colleagues who are advocates go to court with me, we bring witnesses into the court. That's sort of the front line in terms of your mission with Shield of God, is you in a great, huge, unbelievable, fantastic way are getting the community to come together to help people heal. Might maybe not totally ever be able to truly heal, but the support group that you guys represented here, trust me. Unfortunately, oftentimes we have to move on to case, and we can't always have relationships with people that we've encountered in the system, although we would love to, and we do. Those are unbelievably special. But those of you who are involved in the groups, particularly the April's group, you guys are really, what I say is you kind of fill in the seams of the forgotten seams where a lot of people will forget. Even if somebody gets prosecuted and sent to prison, it's possible for them to ever truly thank you or pay you back, and that's not why you do it. So understand that that's the motivation, and April, I know you feel that way. There's so many lives you're going to touch from people who will never have the ability to personally thank you because they may not know who you are, and they certainly would never have the means or the resources to be able to pay you back. But thank you for having the heart of a person who's motivated by not those things, but by motivated by making people better and healing them and stopping sexual violence. So it's an honor to be here for you. Thanks a lot.
To all of you for being here. You know, some of you came from far, and it took a lot to be here. I just want to say thank you for that. And thank you for standing here today, for showing up, for speaking out, and for carrying up the fight for a world that without sexual violence, your presence and support are where change and healing begins. For those of you who don't know me, I'm April Guerra. The founder and president of the Shield of God Foundation. Our mission here is to provide sexual trauma survivors the ability to live independent of their abusers by teaching them the value of Christ. For me, I'm not just a survivor. I'm a thriving survivor of long-term sexual abuse and domestic violence. I'm a testimony of resilience, healing, and redemption. From the time I was just 2 years old until I was about 17, I was sexually abused by my childhood stepfather. Imagine being a child, trapped in silence, pain, and confusion for 15 years. That was my reality. And like so many others, I stayed silent, trapped in fear, shame, and not knowing what to do. And it wasn't until I was 21 that I finally had the strength and courage to speak up, and I told my mom, and we pressed charges. And with the help of Jason, he was brought to some justice. I know Jason would have liked to see a lot more years, but he did receive 13 years sentence in prison. And, but even so, no sentence could undo the damage and the emotional trauma or the years of life I lost. And sadly, the pain didn't end there. I went on to survive 2 domestic violence marriages, both rooted in the same cycle of abuse and silence. But it was in that brokenness that I came back to my faith to Jesus. And it was Jesus who saved me from destruction, self-destruction at that point. And, he picked me up when I couldn't do it for myself. And he gave me purpose when I thought I had none. In 2019, after going through a lot of therapy, and still therapy, because healing is a journey and a destination, I went through therapy, life coaching, ministry school at School of Ministry at Water of Life. I founded the Shield of God Foundation, a place where survivors can find healing, safety, and strength through faith, support, and truth. But this rally, this moment, is not just about my story. It's about all of us. Because the statistics are devastating. Watch this.
Every 68 seconds, someone in America is sexually assaulted. 1 in 4 women and nearly 1 in 26 men have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime. 1 in 9 girls, 1 in 20 boys are sexually abused before they turn 18. Yet, only 25 out of 1,000 perpetrators will end up in prison. But together, we can change this narrative. The Shield of God Foundation stands with survivors, advocates for justice, and works tirelessly to end sexual violence. Break the silence. Be the shield. Join us in the fight to end sexual violence.
These are people we know and love. These are people sitting right beside you right now. And so today I ask you, what will you do? What will you do? Will you listen without judgment when someone finds the courage to speak? Will you educate yourself and others about consent, boundaries, and respect? Will you support organizations like Shield of God that are on the front lines of this fight? Will you speak up when others stay silent? Because change starts with awareness, but it doesn't end there. It grows through action, compassion, and boldness. And if you're a survivor, you are not alone. You are not what happened to you. You are worthy of love, surpasses all understanding. And your voice matters. And you are in the right place to begin your journey to emotional healing. Together we can stop sexual violence. Together we can raise the shield over the vulnerable. Together we can protect, empower, and transform lives. Let's be loud. Let's be brave. Let's be the change.
Stop sexual violence! Stop sexual violence!
Oh, the sun's coming out.
Stop sexual violence! Stop sexual violence! Stop sexual violence! Stop sexual violence! Stop sexual violence!
Jason, thank you, Jason.
Oh,
for
my
coming
pleasure,
out.
absolutely.
Being our speaker. April, how do you feel about your first rally? How do you feel, April?
Awesome. Good job. Good job.